Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bumper Sticker Wisdom. I'm Jason.
I'm John.
We
are crazy today.
It's been a lot of unnecessary banter back and forth. We were supposed to have a guest today. Unfortunately, she had some things come up. She couldn't be here.
Yeah.
But so we're kind of ad-libbing this a little bit. We already kind of had some stuff planned to talk about with the female perspective, but it's okay. We're going to make this work. Brother John's going to say the prayer, and we'll get going.
Yes, sir. Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us the opportunity to come together and get to know you better. And Father, we just want to commit ourselves to you and surrender to you. And Father, we ask that your Holy Spirit descend upon us and just kind of take over and help us to have the wisdom and the words for everybody. Father, if there's anybody out there that's needing anything, Father, that comes from spiritual to physical to mental health issues, whatever it is, Father, we just ask that you allow our faith to help them. Even if they don't believe, we do for them. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
Oof. Okay, so we kind of shot the wad yesterday on the sports thing.
That is true.
Yeah, we had a really very unnecessary long.
Yes, we spent our
entire
men's group doing that. And we haven't done that before or in a while. We haven't had just a moment where we kind of, and it was we took a week off the week before and we didn't really have that. We didn't, so we kind of, I wouldn't say it was straight BS. I mean, we did.
Yeah.
But we also, took a minute too and kind of reminded each other that, you kind of had to leave a little bit early. So we stayed another 20 or 30 minutes after that and kind of reminded each other that, it's okay. It's okay to have some fun and to be around each other and just kind of be loose and get loose and remind each other we can be comfortable. But also that we want to create an environment that's safe for us to be able to say things that are not comfortable sometimes. Yeah. And because we need somebody to bounce our stuff off of and to talk about, talk to each other. The only thing that we didn't talk about really, we kind of talked about it, was my dad and I kind of had, not an argument, but about the whole Super Bowl thing. That got interesting for a second.
Yeah, and I just, how I am. I'm still over here poking the bear while y'all are trying to work it out. I'm like, I never said championship. I said Super Bowls.
But we, the one thing, of course, we're Longhorn fans. Longhorns looked really good playing against, a lesser opponent, obviously. But still, when your starting quarterback goes out, that's a pretty scary situation. Yeah. And, Arch got to play for pretty much 3.5 quarters worth of football. Looked pretty good. So hopefully he lives up to the hype. I know people are going to be talking.
Yeah, they're going to be talking about a quarterback controversy and all that stuff. And there's not one.
Sark's not dumb.
If Quinn's healthy, it's game over. It's his job.
Yep.
Now, next year it's completely different.
Next year it's most likely Arch's job.
Yeah, that's much different because, Quinn's done after this. He's
I think he's a junior, technically, but I very seriously doubt he's coming for a senior year.
Yeah,
I just don't see it.
I see him being very draft worthy.
He was considered a potential first-round draft pick last year.
Yeah.
If he has the year that he's having now and he's in the Heisman race and they do well in the playoff and all that stuff, whether it be win a national championship or not, I just don't see him coming back for another one. Like, you're not going to forgo it.
No, he's going to be like, NFL time.
He's potentially going to be a top 3 to 5 pick at that point. Now, if the wheels fall off and he's not able to complete this season, that's a different thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but I don't see that happening. It wasn't a very serious injury. They're playing very cautious.
Yeah.
By not playing him this week, I heard.
Well, because we have a couple games that are, I'm never going to say easy because those are the ones that make you
don't
you
overlook
eat crow.
anybody. Yeah,
But
they play UL Monroe this week,
Yeah.
and with our defense and Arch just being a fair quarterback or fairly living up to the potential that he has as essentially he's a redshirt freshman. He's a sophomore basically. We should pretty easily beat them. We shouldn't have a struggle. Mississippi State is an SEC team. They've been known to sneak up on teams every once in a while. I wouldn't sleep on them at all. I wouldn't sleep on UL Monroe either because look at Northern Illinois beating Notre Dame. I mean, come on.
Well, look at freaking Kentucky almost beating freaking Georgia.
Yeah. And had it not been for an incomplete pass call that really looked like a pick six to me, Kentucky wins that game. But
when that really throws the whole
everything
SEC
into a
talk
mess.
into a spiral.
Yeah, well, and I want Georgia to be undefeated when Texas plays them.
Yeah.
I want it to essentially be 1-2.
I really wanted them to still be 1 and us be 2.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah. Me too. I wanted that too. I want it to be 1v2, and let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Win or lose, what do you lose by losing?
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
If you're the number 2 team in the country and you lose to the number 1 team in the country, that just proves that they're the number 1 team in the country. It doesn't prove that you're not the number 2 team in the country.
That's right.
It just proves that, yes, they are the number 1 team in the country.
And then, you get experience.
But if we go in there and we freaking wax that freaking
Butte, yeah.
culo, you know what I mean?
Culo.
Then that says something different.
That's right.
And I'm not going to take anything away from Kentucky. I'm not going to take anything away from Georgia. I'm just saying if we do. I'm not saying anything based upon any other games because it's how you play against that scheme, that system, that school.
That day.
Yeah, that day.
There's a reason they say any given Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be any given Saturday.
Any given Saturday is the same thing. You know what I mean? And Georgia's got a little bit of hate for Texas, especially after what happened in the Sugar Bowl like 4 years ago. You know what I mean? So, I'm sure they're looking for some payback, and we're at home. But have you seen that atmosphere? Man, I'm pretty excited. So, I love college football. I love this time of year. It gets a little. It just means more's coming, right? College basketball's around the corner now, and I love college
basketball.
Playoff baseball's fixing to pick up here pretty soon. RT's not going to be in it, and that's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. It's
the cards kind of stacked against them from the beginning, man.
Yeah, the injuries and
all the pitching injuries, and they lost their primary third baseman for 4 out of 6 months, and Seager's been in and out. Simeon hasn't had a great year. Adolis Garcia has not been what he was.
He's a machine. He's not been.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do. I don't know if it's like a World Series hangover type situation.
I don't think so. I think it's more along the lines of like, how okay, so when you could tell a team is defeated.
Yeah.
Look at the Carolina Panthers. That team just looks defeated.
Yeah, every time they step on the field.
Dude, every time they step on the field, they just look defeated.
Yeah.
Well, you look at the injuries, like all this stuff that's happening with the Rangers.
Yeah.
I think they're just like, man, they're just frustrated. They don't have their skill set. They're true skill players out there. So it's just kind of like, it's not that they've given up. I'm not saying that, but
no, of course not.
It's frustration. It's got to be frustration on the players. Like, man, we don't like they're talented players that have been missing. Those that hurts them.
You start trying to do too much is what happens. And if there's anything I know about sports, period, but baseball in particular, when you try too hard, you're gonna fail a lot. Yeah. That's just the way it is, man. When you're just playing the game and letting it come
too hard, you fall too hard.
That's right. So I love this time of year. I'm ready. It's all coming around.
I hate to bring up that deal about the Carolina Panthers, but do you see Bryce Young got benched?
Did he?
Yeah.
Number 1 pick?
He got benched. So, God, man, I can't remember. It's I'm not going to be happy till I know.
It's cool.
But I agree with it. But you know what's crazy about everything that's going on with Bryce Young and the Panthers is that dude gets zero protection. Zero.
He gets no
He
help.
is on his back every single freaking play. Even if he does have time to get the ball out of his hand, he still ends up on his back. That kid's career is going to be so freaking short.
Yeah. Yeah, he's eating it a lot.
Yeah.
And that's an organization that does not have a team. You know what I mean? That's not Cam Newton back there. You know what I mean? Cam Newton was built for that life. Bryce Young is not built for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not that guy. Cam was a physical specimen.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was a physical specimen.
He was a freak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Strong, big, can move. You know?
Andy Dalton. Red Rocket.
The Red Rocket?
The Red Rocket.
Wow.
Yeah, is starting Sunday.
Wow.
The Red Rocket starting Sunday.
Well, let's see what Andy Dalton can do. I mean, and Andy Dalton's kind of like
Andy Dalton's sneaky good, though.
He was underappreciated.
Hey, he will either let you down or he will blow your mind. There's no happy medium.
Yeah,
he's not a game manager. He's either going to suck or he's going to tear it up.
It's like kind of like Fitzmagic.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick was the same way.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, man. Andy Dalton, though, at Cincinnati, while he was there, he had some really good years. But he would,
fresh out of TCU, he was freaking amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He would get really bad injuries, just like terrible timed. He would throw a ball and hit his hand on a helmet and it break a thumb or some stupid stuff like that cost him a lot and cost that team a lot of times. Yeah. But, you know, that's just the nature of the game, you know what I'm saying? And we didn't talk about Tua. I'm scared for him.
Yeah,
I'm scared for that young man.
So I saw, you've seen the movie Radio.
I've never actually seen it. I know what you're talking about.
Jr.?
Yes.
So when he's playing in the rain by himself, and he's got the radio propped up against the bleachers, and the radio's going through the plays.
Yeah.
It says Tua to Mike McDaniels.
Oh,
and it shows right to the radio.
That is so bad.
And he's all like mocking him. Oh my God,
gosh.
dude, it is freaking terrible.
That is
It's
terrible.
not something to laugh at. It really isn't. And I feel terrible for laughing, but
it's hard not
the
to.
The kid's really got to he's really got to think about this because, okay, look, one of y'all made the comment last night. He's going to end up Muhammad Ali in his 30s if he doesn't stop.
Yeah. Muhammad Ali took too many punches. If you watch when he fought Larry Holmes, while Larry Holmes was young and a bad dude, Muhammad Ali was far, far, far past his prime. And I think he was in his late 30s.
That's the one that Tyson came back for revenge on.
Correct, because
he's
loved
like,
Muhammad Ali.
how are you going to let that bum beat you?
Right.
Tyson beat the ever-loving brakes off of him.
Yeah. But Muhammad Ali wasn't that guy anymore. And there's a 30 for 30 about that fight with Ali and Holmes. And when you could tell while Ali was preparing for that fight, when they would try to talk to him, he was already slow.
Yeah.
Like his mind wasn't like it was when he was, I'm the greatest, floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. You know what I mean? He was
Muhammad
quick.
Ali was nasty.
He was nasty. But at this point in time, like his mind was already slipping.
Yeah.
And he kept fighting. And he took too
many nasty
shots.
He needed to stop. And that's Tua.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see this kid's too talented. Okay, look, I'm not taking anything away from him. When he is protected, he is a freak athlete.
Yep.
He is a freak athlete. He's got top 10 freaking accuracy.
Yep.
He has some really killer arm strength. I mean, he is a freak specimen. He's just trying to do too much.
Yep.
All he had to do was hit that button slide.
Just get down.
But he hit DeMar Hamlin of all people in the freaking chest with his head. So DeMar Hamlin's chest problems, his head problems, and it clearly goes to show you.
Yeah.
And
he was asleep.
At least, but here's the thing: is that it wasn't as bad as I can't remember who they were playing, but the one where He had like his
Fingers
fingers were
got all
disfigured
locked up and stuff.
and they're like bending backwards and like he's going into like that was the scariest thing to ever see.
That terrified me. And this
it's
one
like,
was
man,
close.
this dude is done. Like
this was
this
close
dude is
because
done.
you could see that his fists were kind of clenched
yeah.
up.
And he does like they
almost
get
like
tight.
cerebral palsy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what that looked like. Man,
Yeah.
what was crazy about that is he kept trying to look at his fingers. He remember.
Yeah, he was like
he's putting his fingers in his face mask, and they're doing all this crazy stuff, and he's just like,
yeah, it's trippy. Man.
it was that's scary. That's scary for a player that is taking those kind of shots to the head like that.
He's taking that kind of risk, man.
And he just, I mean, look, Junior Seau,
there's been
Aaron Hernandez.
There's been multiple.
Dude, it does make you crazy. It will make you crazy.
Yeah, there's been multiple people. There was a Kansas City Chiefs offensive lineman.
Derek Thomas died in a car accident.
No, this was an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. There was.
Remember the
Buffalo
one that
Bills
went to the stadium and shot himself?
That's the one I'm talking about. That was the Chiefs, wasn't
He
it?
was a linebacker.
Was it a linebacker?
He was a linebacker.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
this
it's this
stuff with these
CTE
consistent brain injuries
is real.
Bad. And look, I understand Tua's warrior mentality and all that, like with the, being a Hawaiian, you know what I mean, and I get it.
Samoan,
like I get it. I appreciate your fearlessness and all that kind of stuff, man. But
there comes a point when you have to put your health
above
this. And we even talked about this last night. He got
it's the money,
really fat contract.
Yeah,
beginning of last year.
Yeah,
really fat contract. So he's got. I know everybody's going to criticize me for saying this. If you make more, you spend more.
Yeah, of course.
But if you are planning correctly, that fat contract that you got, you had some guaranteed money in there.
Yeah.
And you're still going to have some because you got paid for last season. You're still going to have some guaranteed money in there.
Yep.
You ought to be able to live for the rest of your life
should be pretty comfortable.
handsomely. I mean,
yeah, should be pretty comfortable.
If you budget like they say you can live now, that you can live off of $80,000 a year, which is a freaking total crap.
That's a lie, but okay.
But take that if you're investing and doing something smart. All I'm trying to say is the kid needs to seriously consider the fact that his life and his health. I mean, he's
risk.
Way too young.
It's at risk.
Way too young.
Was he probably 26?
Yeah.
He's 3 years into the league?
4 years into the league.
So he might be
he
might be 24, 25.
Him and Jalen are the same year.
Really?
Him and Jalen are the same year.
Well, I'm thinking of Bryce Young. My bad.
No, Bryce Young was last year.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah.
Him and Jalen are the same year.
Yeah.
So the year before
Jalen left and went. Jalen stayed in Alabama, right?
No,
or no,
Jalen left
Oklahoma.
Alabama, went to OU, and then
Tua
stayed at Alabama. Tua was a year younger, but they went to the NFL the same year.
Same year. Got it.
Yeah.
Man, I just don't want to see anything bad happen. Anything that happens like that.
I really hope I'm right on that because I'm going to sound really stupid, but I'm almost 99%
pretty sure. We can fact check it later if you want. If it's
anybody that's listening, and if I'm wrong, please don't tell anybody.
Too late. It's out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll let
he's too young. He's too young. That bottom line, he's too young.
Yeah. It's just not worth it, man. Like, I understand the financial part of it, and
I don't. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. At some point in every human's life, they have to draw a line. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this worth my life? Because I promise you, that kid will have a spot somewhere, maybe in college football as an announcer. He's not done. He's still going to be a face in the sport.
He can coach.
Yeah, he still has
got credibility.
Something,
you know
what I mean.
He
still has something. Yeah. He's not done.
He just,
but
maybe shouldn't play football.
Maybe you should consider not playing.
Yeah,
and I hate it for him because he is a freak specimen. I mean, he really is. He is. But the problem started very early with. He's he's used to being able to get away with that stuff in college.
Yeah.
NFL ain't the same.
No, these are
you run.
All the
you
best
gotta
players.
Slide.
All the best players that you played in college. Everybody on the field in the NFL is those guys.
Yeah.
While in college there was 2 or 3 of them on the field at a time.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe 4 or 5, and sometimes not any.
Yeah.
But
hit that buttocks and slide, bro.
These dudes, there's a lot of them in the NFL. They all freaks.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
I mean, I can't. We talked about it last night about the Larry Zonka thing.
Gosh,
can you imagine that dude playing in today's NFL?
He'd kill people.
He's a freaking lunatic, bro, and he was a freaking running back. Like he was running like he was a running back, right?
He was he was technically a fullback.
But he
at
runs
that
like
point, yeah.
he was running, and they started to corral him, and he's elbowing people's helmets. Like he's switching the ball, like he put the ball in his left hand, and he's like, Kah, kah, and then he put it in his right hand, and he's like, Kah, kah.
And to be able to hang on to it like that, dude,
he didn't care.
This
and
is
then
a freak.
And he would headhunt.
Oh.
So like people would be trying to turn to run with him to jump on his back, and he's like, no. He's going to turn towards them and then run over them. And he may run over them and run out of bounds, and he could have got another 30 yards, but he didn't care.
This dude,
he wanted the physical contact. Mike Allstott.
He didn't, dude. Larry Zonka did not throw stiff arms. He threw elbows.
Yes,
out front like this, not like this.
Yeah,
powerful. Yeah.
When they,
and Mike Allstott
I think it was against the Chargers. He's trying to spin, and they're all diving at his knees. And there's one dude standing up, and he's like, "What?" Like he's trying to high step all these dudes on the ground, and he's elbowing this dude in the freaking face mask. I'm like, golly, bro,
this dude's a nutcase.
Yeah,
man. Yeah. Oh wow.
Sports went a little longer tonight.
It's high. What the heck? 22 minutes. 22 minutes.
Okay,
come on.
Nah, that ain't too bad.
We've done worse or better. What do you think? Better or worse? I don't know.
It's all sometimes, like you said, there's going to be a point. There's going to be a necessity for everything. Like sometimes it's just the candid, relaxing, and kind of banter back and forth about things that really kind of spark something interesting.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's getting serious and right down to the nitty gritty right off the bat. But
yeah. Well, we're not going to. We always try to be organic, right? We talk a lot about having real conversation and organic conversation, and like we can't have organic conversation and not be who we are.
Yeah.
Right. And these are things that we truly enjoy.
We're not rehearsed. We're not rehearsed people.
No.
Even if we did rehearse, even if we did try to script this,
it would so go off the rails so fast.
It would last the intro. That's it.
I think that is what we're at now.
It would be in the ditch immediately. You know what I mean? Like, we'd get the intro in, and we'd be in the ditch trying to recover. I mean, that's just how it is.
Pretty much what we're at now. We have a semi-rehearsed introduction, and that's it.
Yeah.
Everything we do after that is from the heart, baby, and from the hip.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're decent, and sometimes we're good, and sometimes we
fire them off left and right.
But you know what? I every time I go back, every time I go back to edit or whatever, and I listen to this stuff, I'm always just thankful, man. I feel like God does exactly what we ask him to do, to just be in it.
So I have a serious question for you, because this has come up the last couple weeks.
Okay.
Not conversation on anything, just personal feeling.
Okay.
So, like, Sunday, I'm thinking about it really, really hard and heavy. I'm talking about the podcast. Like, I'm thinking about the podcast really hard and heavy. And that's like, so I leave tonight. I'm going to be thinking about it all night. I'm going to be thinking about it all day tomorrow. I'm going to be thinking about it all day Thursday. Friday, I'm going to be thinking about it. Saturday, I turn my, you know how I am.
The world shut off at this point.
Yeah, the world shut off at this point. Sunday, church, all that stuff, I don't really think about it. Monday, I'm thinking about it again. Tuesday, I'm like, what are we going to talk about? Like, what are we going to do? Like, that's the one day that I'm in panic mode. You know what I mean?
It's interesting
and
because
after we leave, I'm like, oh man, that was great. And then Wednesday, oh man, I can't wait. But then come Tuesday morning, I'm like, I'm sitting in my office, I'm kind of going over timesheets or I'm doing work orders, whatever, and I'm just like, oh man, what are we gonna talk about? What are we gonna do?
You know what it reminds
What's
me
happening?
I don't know. I see dead people. I don't know. No, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the pressure to perform kind of thing.
What I felt like it is like the enemy is trying to get in my head and be like, hey, this is like, what are you doing? Why are you thinking about that? Because it's only on Tuesdays, and even like sometimes I'll talk to my wife and I'm like, man, babe, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Like I was cool. I'm cool with it all the time. And then I get here and it's always great.
Yeah.
But it's like the enemy's trying to get in my head and be like, hey, you don't need to do that.
Oh, yeah. You know what? And I want to be honest with you. I have the same problem. It's the craziest thing.
It's weird because all week I'm good.
It's because I can't speak for the enemy, but I can think as an enemy of the throne and an enemy.
If you were going to be an enemy,
if you were going to be
an enemy of the throne or an enemy of God, that would
then
be
I
the
would
way
want
to
to stop.
You would be
like
trying
that.
to derail it. Yes.
Yeah, and so he's. I don't want to give him any credit, but you got to give credit where credit's due, and he's really good at what he does.
He's really good.
He's
very
sneaky,
good.
bro.
The king of lies.
And every window we give him, he takes advantage of, and it only takes a crack.
I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, am I the only one? Like,
No.
And why am I feeling like that? Like, that's just.
Well, because first it starts with self-doubt, right? It starts with.
But I have zero self-doubt.
Well, I think yes and no.
No, I'm being dead serious. I have zero self-doubt. Now, I have a lot of self-doubt in other areas. I'm not done with. Let me correct myself.
I got you.
But in this, I have zero self-doubt. I have zero doubt in anything we're doing. I feel like everything we're doing is positive. It's for the greater good.
Yes,
like
sir.
we are actually making an impact. I feel that way. If we are or we're not, who cares? But I feel like we are.
I know for a fact we've got at least 5 people, and we said 1, so it's 5, and we're doing great. So we're 5 times better than we thought we'd be.
Yeah, we're batting 500 right now.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's how you do the math.
It's 5,000, but okay. Got it.
But you see what I'm saying. I'm 100%. This is the one thing that I'm 100% confident in.
Yeah,
I have no self doubt in this at all. But it's that one day, like first thing Tuesday, like I got up this morning. I'm going over my waiver wire for fantasy football, and I'm like, man, like I got a lot of stuff going on. Like, I don't know about today.
Yeah,
like I'm questioning everything, and like, why?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wish I could give you a great answer because I kind of go through the same process, the same thing, and I think it has to have something to do with like just those internal feelings and those internal quote doubts. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not doubting yourself, but maybe doubt that I go through this a lot where it's like I doubt that what I'm doing is an impact. And then I doubt that what I'm doing is the right thing, or you know how much I'm afraid of like teaching lies and stuff like that. And look, I'm not the almighty teacher. I'm not like that at all. I'm not trying to even present myself that way. But I want to and I want to have conversation with people that will help. Like, let's have a conversation. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we invite people to interact with us and stuff like that. But I think that on some level, it's kind of like the people who struggle to take tests.
Yeah, like me.
So I think it's kind of like the people that struggle with taking tests, and it's kind of like a performance anxiety situation. And what I think that we have to recognize and remember is that for us, the battlefield is the mind, right? Yeah. And that's where the enemy is going to attack. And so he raises up those questions that we always have of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And like those moments where we're like, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm not sure if what I'm doing is good or right or positive, or making the impact we want, or maybe it's just because we have desires and dreams and like we want it to be bigger than it is right now. And you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when you bring that up, it's really funny that you do that, because I've had like some really intense talks with myself, like maybe I'm the one holding the show back. Maybe but hold on, hear me out.
I got you.
You talk about this, and you talk about the enemy kind of getting at you. I've had some okay, so first I'm going to have to correct this self-doubt thing. I don't mean like I have zero self-doubt in like while we're on the show and we're talking and everything.
Right.
Zero self-doubt. But I have a huge amount of self-doubt surrounding how I'm going to be on the show.
Yeah.
So like I've just, I have this like feeling that maybe I'm not quite the follower I need to be, and maybe I'm the one hindering this. I'm not saying I am, and I'm not saying anybody thinks I am. I'm saying like, these are the kind of questions that are carouseling through my mind right now.
Yep.
And I really constantly have to kind of remind myself like, hey, this, whether I'm the follower I need to be or not, somebody out there is going to be like, hey,
yep,
I
can relate to that.
I feel what you're saying.
Yep.
I understand how you feel.
Yep.
That's going to get a little bit of momentum with somebody.
Right. I would be on, if I'm just guessing, there's 7 billion people on the planet, right? And maybe more. I don't know. That's a last check for me. What's 1% of 7 billion? It's like 700 million? No. 7 million? 7 million would be 1%
Hold
of
on.
7 billion. We got to do math on this.
All right, we got to do math.
Hey, guys. Welcome to Bumper Sticker Wisdom. Today we're doing math.
Yeah.
This is way more than long division. 7 billion times 0.01.
Woo.
Is it 7 million or 70 million?
1%. Okay, so the Earth's population is a little under 8 billion.
So let's just say 8 billion.
So 1% of 8 billion is, oh, damn it. I touched it.
Dang it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. 80 million.
Okay, so it's
1% of 8 billion is 80 million.
Yeah.
Million.
Think about
80,
that for 1 second.
80 million.
I would think and this is such abstract thinking, right? Like there's a lot of people that maybe don't have access to this kind of stuff or whatever, but realistically, there's 300 million people in this country, right? 1% of that is going to be 300,000.
Yeah.
Something like that, or
30,000.
Something like that. Whatever. I'm not trying to, again, I'm done with math.
Okay, but hold on. Okay, so to really kind of, I know where you're going with this.
Gotcha.
I hate to cut you off. I don't want to steal your thunder.
Nope, you're good.
But I do want to say this before I forget, because we all know how this is.
It's not a trap.
If there's 100 people in the room, and you're going to make an impact on 1% of them. You're going to make an impact on at least one person.
Yeah.
100 random people from different diversities, different backgrounds. One of them is going to like you.
Yep.
One of them is going to kind of fall into what you're trying to teach them.
That's right.
You only need 1 out of 100.
Yep. I feel
see what I'm saying?
I feel like our chances are pretty good.
You need
at
10
reaching 1%
out of 1,000.
Yes.
10 out of 1,000.
Yep. 100 out of 10,000.
How many followers do we have?
On which platform?
Anything. All together. Let's do them all together.
We have 700 and something followers on TikTok. We have
700 on TikTok.
Yeah, 70 some on YouTube. I don't know how many. It doesn't really show you followers on like.
So we have.
Let's just say 800.
800.
Or 850.
So that's 80,000.
Yeah, 1% of that.
So we're reaching approximately 80,000 people. If we were reaching 1% of if who's following us is 1% of the people that we're reaching, we're reaching about 80,000.
Yeah. Think about that.
Not bad.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
You think about it though.
How come we only have 1,100 plays? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
If we can find if we can impact 1% of the entire population of the world, that's 80 million people, right? And I'm saying we do even less than that. Let's just do 10% of that, which is I think that's like 0.7% of the entire population of the world. That's 8 million people. That's not unheard of. But we're choosing to do this slowly and organically, right? Like, we're not out here pushing it hard.
Well, first and foremost, we don't have sponsors. We don't have nothing.
This is all coming out of our pocket.
Yeah, everything that we're doing is coming out of our own wallets.
Yes, it comes out of our own. Sorry.
What the? Oh, that's the
5-minute warning.
5-minute warning. Yeah. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, we have a 5-minute warning. Every night, a member of our men's group is assigned with giving a book to read out of the Bible.
Yeah, a chapter out of a book.
John is Monday, Tanner's Tuesday, Dad is Wednesday.
Yep.
Ronnie's Thursday, Harley's Friday, I'm Saturday, Kevin's Sunday.
Correct.
We just started this a couple weeks ago, so we still have to have a reminder. That's what that reminder was. That's what you heard. That's what that was.
I have an alarm set for 7:55.
Hey, okay, guy.
You got 5 minutes, buddy.
Time to get into this. Which we will read that. I think we read one last week.
Yeah, the very first one.
I think we actually read one the week before too.
We didn't do one last week or the week before. It was the very first week that we did it. We were in here recording,
which was 2 weeks ago.
Maybe it was 2 weeks ago.
This is only the second week.
We've been off for 2 weeks.
We've completed 2 weeks.
Yep. This is 3 weeks.
This is the third time, yeah.
We're actually starting the fourth time.
Third time.
It's the fourth time. Because we did a full week where I wasn't doing the reminders, right? And then the next week I started doing the reminders, and then we had a bye week. That's 2 weeks. This is 4, starting yesterday.
I agree to disagree.
Okay, fine. We can disagree. See, we can still be friends. We still love each other. Just because we don't agree on it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But yeah, we did record an episode where we read one,
but that's the point. Is we did talk about this, about how if we had these come through, and we still happen to be recording, we got a really late start tonight because me and you kind of got into some major BS and very, very necessary. We did the same thing last night, though. I mean, I felt like at one point it was just the John and Jason show.
It got there, you know what I mean? And then it got to be John, Jason, and Dad.
Yeah, and it was John, Jason, and Dad. But at one point, it was like me and you just bantering back and forth, and everybody kind of looking at us. Nothing bad about that.
No.
I think everybody was just kind of...
We let it go and got loose.
It was a great time. And I needed that last night, especially with some of the stuff that was kind of starting to build up.
Yep. And really, we just kind of invited each other into a situation where we could kind of BS and just have fun. And, you know,
we talked about life like we were fixing to win $1 billion.
Yeah, let's go.
Like, we're going to have our own compound. We're going to have... Kevin wants a giraffe. I want a kangaroo.
I want a silverback.
Yeah, John wants a silverback gorilla. And we're going to have all these on our property in cages. And, like, we're going to have, like, 18 houses in a big circle with a swimming pool in the middle and a moat full of crocodiles and all this stuff. And we talked about this like it was, and we were going to buy a private jet.
Yeah.
I bet people listening to us right now are like, these dudes are crazy.
They're on drugs.
Yeah. We're not on drugs.
We are not on drugs. We
were just sat down and just kind of getting together and talking about things and what it would be like to have that kind of money. We were talking about Shea Ohtani.
Yeah,
we were talking about the payout that he got, and we were talking about the things that we would do. And I got very, and of course, I'm always the guy instigating this. I went real hardcore, real fast. And I started kind of talking about how if I had the opportunity to be blessed with that kind of money, what I would do for my family and friends. And I would build, and I hate to say compound because it sounds so terrible.
Yeah, but
essentially that's what it is. I mean, you take
it's just
all your family members and your closest friends, and you build you have, let's just say you have 100 acres. In the middle of that 100 acres, you build 18 houses in a circle, which with the kind of payout that he got, that's easily doable. With a big swimming pool in the middle.
Far.
And we talked about
All
this.
of
And we
this is
talked
pretty
about we were
relevant,
going to have a pond.
Yeah.
So we could go fishing, not even have to leave.
Yeah.
We talked about having a brick wall with a moat full of crocodiles and
we just
cottonmouths.
want leave us the F alone money.
Just because we want to be able to say, hey, man, you can't get in here. Ha ha. Not because we're up to anything bad, just because it would, it's men bantering. Yeah.
But the funny thing about go ahead.
The point that I was trying to make through all that was the community of the whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
If I was blessed in that way, of course, no one that I cared for would be struggling. We would all drink from the well. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
$750 million. Are you really going to be able to spend that in your lifetime?
No.
I mean, you can, but only if you're buying $8 million cars and going on, like if you really just kind of focused.
I'm not going to say I wouldn't try to do any of that stuff.
I'm not talking about $18 million homes. I'm talking about $1,800,000 homes. You know what I mean? Like we all going to live real fat, real ghetto and real happy.
I'm going to cook a lot of food.
Yeah. You have all the people that you care about. That's kind of what I was getting at.
And my goodness. No way.
No, what's happening?
James chapter 5. Oh, warning to the rich. Wow. James chapter 5.
Here we are sitting here
doing our stupid stuff.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, look here, you rich people. Weep and groan with anguish because of all the terrible troubles ahead of you. Your wealth is rotting away and your fine clothes are moth-eaten rags. Your gold and silver are corroded. The very wealth you were counting on will eat away your flesh like fire. This corroded treasure you have hoarded will testify against you on the day of judgment. For listen, hear the cries of the field workers whom you have cheated of their pay. The cries of those who harvest your fields have reached the ears of the Lord of heaven's armies. Just to be fair, we're not going to do any of that.
Well, but okay,
we're not going to mistreat people.
Okay, so quick little pause.
Yep.
What that tells me is for like the very selfish masters.
Yes,
that are shorting the people that are helping make them wealthy. That's what that tells me.
Yep. Here's the last part of that. It says, you have spent your years on earth in luxury, satisfying your every desire. You have fattened yourselves for the day of slaughter. God dang. You have condemned and killed innocent people who do not resist you. Brothers and sisters, be patient as you wait for the Lord's return. Consider the farmers who patiently wait for the rains in the fall and in the spring. They eagerly look for the valuable harvest to ripen. You too must be patient. Take courage, for the coming of the Lord is near. Don't grumble about each other, brothers and sisters, for you will be judged. For look, the judge is standing at the door. For examples of patience and suffering, dear brothers and sisters, look at the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord. We give great honor to those who endure under suffering. For instance, you know about Job, a man of great endurance. You can see how the Lord was kind to him at the end, for the Lord is full of tenderness and mercy. But most of all, brothers and sisters, never take an oath by heaven or earth or anything else. Just say a simple yes or no. That's don't promise, so that you will not sin and be condemned. And the last, wow. Hats off to Tanner. This is a really good chapter. I like this. Are any of you suffering hardships? You should pray. Are any of you happy? You should sing praise. Are any of you sick? You should call for the elders of the church to come and pray over you, anointing you with oil in the name of the Lord. Such a prayer offered in faith will heal the sick, and the Lord will make you well. And if you have committed any sins, you will be forgiven. Confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. The earnest prayer of a righteous person has great power and produces wonderful results. Elijah was a human as we are, and yet when he prayed earnestly that no rain would fall, none fell for 3.5 years. Then, when he prayed again, the sky sent down rain on the earth and the earth began to yield its crops. Brothers and sisters, if someone among you wanders away from the truth and is brought back, you can be sure that whoever brings that sinner back from wandering will save that person from death and bring about the forgiveness of many sins. That's an interesting chapter to happen right
now as we're talking the crap that and he wasn't even at our men's group last night.
No, he wasn't.
So he didn't get to hear all the crap we were talking last night.
Clearly. We said all of that being tongue in cheek.
Well,
right? We were having fun.
No, and so
but it's just interesting.
What we were doing is we really got in this hypothetical what if, because we were talking about the contract payouts of players and stuff like that. What brought it up was the situation with Tua.
That's exactly
And then
right.
we started getting into the higher contracts, and then Shea Ohtani got brought up. And
Yep.
that dude is $750 million rich, and he's only making $10 million a year.
Yep.
Up until it comes time to get paid out.
Yeah.
$10 million a year.
Yeah.
Over 10 years. That's $100 million.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. I'm totally cool with that. $10 million a year?
We talked about how we'd lose our $750 million because we'd be fighting kangaroos.
Yeah, we'd get caught fighting kangaroos because I was like, I want to fight kangaroo. I want a kangaroo. And their dad was like, we should get two and watch them fight. So then I'm like, yeah, we should definitely do that. We talked about getting Tillamook or whatever his name is, the freaking
the whale, the
killer whale from SeaWorld. We talked about getting him and putting him in a saltwater lake in the backyard.
And again, like, I know all of this sounds so silly, but
it was fun last night.
We were just having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, we were acting like, like when you would get with your friends as kids. Yeah. And you'd all talk all the smack about what you're going to do when you grow up. That's what it felt like. It was like very innocent.
Yeah.
Very fun, very energetic, and very happy. Everybody at the table was happy.
And it's exactly what happens when men get to just kind of unplug for a second.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before. Like, we don't spend a lot of time doing that with that group. You know what I mean? It's always all business all the time.
Yeah, and that was a wonderful, wonderful example of why we should do that.
Yeah. Dude, I felt so much more loose.
Often. Yeah, I mean, we're all really good friends. Yeah. You know what I mean? We all love each other at that table. All of us do.
Sir, I'd catch one and give one.
Yes, I mean, we are I would like to think that we are some of the closest people that people have.
Yep.
Now that being said, that's the first time really that we've done that.
It's true. Yep. It really is.
And I've been a part of this for I want to say close to a year, maybe a little more.
I think you're at a little over a year. I think so.
This is the first time.
Yep.
That we've actually done that. We were very unprofessional last night. We all just had a really good time, sat down, BS'd, joked. And what was even better about it is we were sitting there for about an hour and a half.
We did.
We didn't.
We sat there.
We didn't do our hour men's group like we normally do. We sat there and joked around and had a good time for about an hour and a half. Of course, I got cut short, had to leave, but that was totally cool. I mean, that was awesome.
The thing that has started to happen, and it's what happened here too a little bit, it was like they started to feel a little guilty about maybe not being serious and not taking and not. Everybody brought their Bibles, which I was so proud of them all. I did not.
I did not. I didn't get a chance to run home, which I need to carry in my truck.
But they, Ronnie showed up with his, Kevin showed up with his, Harley showed up with his, my dad had his. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mine was at the table. It's like everybody showed up with their Bible, and it was like we really didn't crack it. You know what I mean? So everybody kind of started to feel guilty a little bit, and it was like, wait a minute, like time out for a second.
Yeah, I mean that's not the.
God loves you.
We still did talk.
We did.
We still got some biblical things in our words. But
God has the right to bless you however He wants to.
Yeah.
And if He wants to bless one of us with the 750 millions, by all means, He's
y'all
welcome.
Better hope He blesses me because we all living rich.
If He blesses me, like I tell Kevin all the time, like
you can't take it with you,
bro. If I got, you got.
Yeah.
If I got, you got.
Yeah. We're all, hey, we're going to find a really awesome place too. Like when I was talking about Puerto Rico earlier.
It's not San Lucia.
No. I'm just saying, like, if that was to ever be the case, I know this is such a hypothetical. I don't even play the lottery, so I know it's never going to happen for me. But to be blessed with something like that, I think the reason it is such a curse for people is because they don't bless others.
Yeah.
Typically, people that win the lottery, it's just like, look at me, look what I did.
Party.
Yeah, and of course you're going to go broke. Bro, first and foremost, $75 million of that is going to my church. First and foremost.
Yeah, I'm going to give them my first and best. Yeah.
First and foremost, $75 million. Do you know what our church can do? I watch what they do with the measly 75 or 100 that I give them a week.
Yeah.
75 million?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. I can only
the
imagine.
reach that they would have?
Yep.
Okay. That starts there.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I really do feel like there's a charity out there, and I know you already know. Suicide. I want to do wounded warriors and suicide prevention.
Yep.
Yes, of course.
Yep.
And guess what the rest is for?
Us.
We getting a giraffe, homie.
We were talking about riding giraffes and stuff like.
We were talking about riding ostrich and alpacas. We were talking about all kinds of crazy.
We're gonna
stuff
do our own
night.
kind of wildlife Mario Kart.
What it reminds me of is on
so stupid.
What's Blended?
Oh yeah.
And they're out there riding those freaking ostriches and stuff, and they're like trying to pole vault each other off of them. But that's what it reminds me of, which would be amazing.
That'd be a lot of fun. That'd be a heck of a.
Can you? I mean, like, in all seriousness, not talking about winning money, not talking about doing any of this.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about, like, to actually, if we had the opportunity to go to South Africa. That would be cool. Like me personally, I want to go to Israel, but I don't know if that's the safest place in the world to go right now.
Yeah, not for gringos like us.
And I want to. I mean, a lot of people may have some very strong words about how I feel about this too, but I would really like to go see Russia. I want to go to Moscow.
Yep.
I want to see the big gold snow cone peaks on top of the buildings. I don't know what you would call them.
I don't know what you call them. I know what you're talking about.
I really do, but not because of any other reason other than that's something that would be
like
really
to see.
Cool to see.
Yeah.
I would love to go to Rome. I'd love to go to Italy.
We were close. Gosh, we were close.
Iceland has been a huge dream for me. Greenland. I know everybody says what's in Greenland. I just want to be able to say I saw Iceland and Greenland because they're opposite.
Yes.
Iceland's really green and Greenland's really icy.
Yeah.
I just want to go say that I saw both.
I flew over the top of Greenland.
But do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I mean, this is not about winning the lottery. This is just about the cool things that God actually has created and the miraculous wonders of the world.
Gosh, to go to Egypt, to go to and see, the pyramids, to go
the Swiss Alps.
The Swiss.
Oh my gosh.
I flew over the top of those too. It's pretty cool, man. You want to know the coolest thing I saw on an airplane? Flying to Malta. We've talked about, my dad and I got to go to Malta, which is in the Bible.
So when you flew to Malta, you flew over Greenland?
We flew, it was in the middle of the night. So, we flew from Denver and they go up and then back down.
Up and drop down?
Yep. So we flew to Frankfurt, Germany. So we were over the top of Greenland. In the middle of the night, it was dark. You couldn't even see nothing.
Okay, but that don't make sense. Why wouldn't you just fly straight?
You ask them. I have no clue. It's the way the Earth is a sphere, right? So flying straight actually takes longer. So going like this, it was apparently is faster.
Okay, okay.
I'm
so
not smart enough to answer that question.
Inner investigator in me is now like, okay, wait, hold on.
Okay, so we flew from Denver. You would think Denver straight over, the Atlantic Ocean, over the Carolinas.
I get the sphere thing. I get that.
Yeah,
but okay, if it's a sphere, here to here is still closer than here to here.
Is it though?
It would have to be because you still have to cover this same amount of rotation.
I don't know.
You're here to here.
I think the reason that
still
they
have the same.
I think the reason that they've planned flights like that is because they keep you overland as long as possible. They don't want you out over.
Now that makes sense. That does make sense.
They don't want you out over open ocean for 8 hours.
In
case you have to ditch, baby. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know.
What are you going to land on in Iceland or Greenland?
At least it's land. I guess. I don't know. I'm just telling you what happened.
Holy fuck. Yeah. So I get it.
We left Denver and
it caught me off guard when you said we went like this, because that's why I was like, why?
Yeah,
did you
we basically
fly over
rainbowed
Greenland?
it.
Okay.
We rainbowed it and landed in Frankfurt, Germany. Right. So we left Denver airport and literally flew. We were over Canada for a second and kept going up and over, and that's Greenland right there, and then landed in Frankfurt, Germany. And when we got on the plane from Frankfurt, Germany
was straight to Malta, though.
We didn't. There was no arch.
Yeah,
that was straight to Malta from there, due south, pretty much. And we flew over the Swiss Alps. The coolest thing I saw on the airplane, I didn't get a picture of it. I looked out and I saw the most picturesque movie scene valley of a freaking town out between two mountain ranges, and the sun's shining down on it, and it was so cool.
Do you know how cool it would be to be there?
I'm saying
these are the wonderful things that our God creates.
Absolutely, and He wants you to enjoy them.
I know, but here's the thing. Okay, God created all these wonderful, and I mean this in all seriousness, all these beautiful. I mean, this is masterpieces He created here on earth of all these beautiful places.
Yeah.
And He put me in punk ass Amarillo, where it looks like half Odessa, half freaking Arizona. Do you see what I'm saying?
Hey, but
I look out, I see green on the neighbor's yard, and then I see dead Bermuda in the other neighbor's yard.
I will say that every area has its things.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, we've been here our whole lives.
We just have mesquite trees.
We've been here our whole lives. So what is beautiful about our plains is beautiful to us. Because we've been here forever. I've been here 44 years.
Well, and so we moved here when I was 3 or 4.
Wait a minute. You came from California.
Yeah, I came from Oceanside, California.
I got you.
Do
you remember California?
Not at all.
No.
Thank God.
I'm sure Oceanside was pretty nice.
Okay, so I got to say this though. My mom. So I don't remember how old I was, but all I remember is this: my mom and her ex-husband and his sister and husband.
Yeah.
Me and my cousin Jason. And my cousin Jana may have been there, and I think at the time my stepsister Crystal. We went to California on like a dual family trip in the back of their Suburban. Now, Mom, when I say this, like I'm talking like we had a pallet set up in the back of the Suburban. Like, we were just gangster as could be, mobbing to California.
Deucing it to California.
Yeah, but when we got there, I do remember being there. And we were in Vista, California at my grandma and grandpa's house. I do remember being there. I remember playing Red Rover in the front yard.
Yeah,
I do remember going in and my grandma telling me she was going to smack the teeth out of my mouth because I popped off something fly. I do remember that. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I do remember that. But I also remember like we were going to the horse races. We were going to go do some other crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember those things. But I do remember the scenery. And it was beautiful. Now, Oceanside is between San Diego and L.A. So it's just south of all the really densely populated kind of areas where it's I can't imagine trying to be in LA right now. But yes,
no. People are fleeing so fast as far as they can away from the California as quick as they can, you know.
Okay, I mean? So you remember we were talking about was I here when we were talking about the earthquake thing?
No.
Okay, so then it was the bowling alley.
Okay.
But my Ring app is going off about an earthquake. Did anybody feel that? That's the second one. And I'm like, what the heck? And it's all north, like in the River Road area. And I'm like, psst. So I get up this morning and go to work, and on my little news feed, there was a freaking earthquake like just south of Lubbock. Really? Like a 5.3 or something like that. I'm like,
That's
a pretty strong earthquake for
that far inland.
Yeah, for Texas. You know what I'm saying?
I actually there was an earthquake out by our work or by my work. I don't know that you were working out there yet. It's been pretty recently, but I remember I was in an aisle of the warehouse talking to somebody as I was training them, and I felt a rumble, and I was like, it's a warehouse, dude. There's forklifts driving around, and sometimes you feel the floor shaking. And I was like, that was kind of weird. You know what I mean? It was like 15 minutes later, I was back in the offices, and somebody was like, there was an earthquake out here just now. And I'm like, what? Are you serious?
Yeah, see, I would never know because we run out there when we're working on rollers and stuff.
Bring the earth up.
They're vibrate.
Yeah.
And one of them rolls by, I can literally hear the glass in my office like so yes, they're shaking everything around when they test these, but they go out in the parking lot and in the dirt area, and when they test them, they hit the vibrate, and you can feel it. You can feel it in your office. You can hear it.
Yeah. I would tell you, man, this
was a really crazy episode.
It's been different and it's been interesting, and we talked to. You know what the crazy thing is though is like what you heard is what men actually can be and do when they're comfortable, and they're comfortable with other men, and when they get in groups of other men and they just have a good time, and it's nice to be able to just release some of that. And we're inviting people into this space, which is a little nerve-wracking. You know what I mean? No lie. This one's going to be interesting to put out there because it's not exactly what we normally do. There's a few things that I think that we should talk about in the future, not today, because it's just going to drag it out longer and longer. But, something that kind of has – I think that we need to be very careful with our words and how we're speaking over ourselves and to others.
The tongue has the power of life and death.
It does.
And it really can cripple you.
I also think that we need to talk about worship, and kind of I don't know. We both actually had a moment in church this Sunday in worship that was interesting.
I was trying to hide the fact that I was leaking.
I was too, and I wasn't just leaking. I was pouring. Yeah.
My wife's like, "What's wrong with you?" Like, I got something in my eye. Leave me alone.
Shut up and leave me alone. And we're dudes, and that's what we do.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do.
And then I also think that we should talk about worrying about what others think about us.
Okay. That one is going to be a really good topic. That one is courtesy of Anonymous.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A very dear friend of ours.
Yeah, a very loyal follower too. Really been engaged with us
for the duration,
essentially the entire time that we've been out. I think we heard from him within the first 10 episodes.
Yeah, it was pretty quickly. Yeah,
and
it was.
I say him. We heard from them within the first 10 episodes, and this is the fourth email that we've gotten.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
From them.
This was a long one, and it was very encouraging, and also
it was very encouraging, and I think I do agree with that. We could really hit that,
and I think we should. And I think we should probably wait and not start that conversation.
Yeah,
today.
For sure.
This one was for something different, and I think that 1% out of 8 billion people, 80 million people might enjoy and appreciate just a couple of guys being real with
even
each
if
other.
Even if a quarter of a percent of the population.
That's true.
Even if a freaking 25th of the percent of the population.
Even if it's just one.
Even if it's just one.
That's right.
Okay, so I have a really good one to close this out. It's really good, really corny. So my dad said dot to dots aren't always addictive. You just have to know where to draw the line. The dot to dot puzzles.
You just have to know where to draw the line. I draw a line.
Jeez. That was miserable.
It was a dad joke. Oh man. I love digging through these, but I'm getting sadly low. I think
one. Can I offer a suggestion? Give the one from earlier, the Aaron Rodgers one.
Okay, I can.
I remember it.
I also want to bring that to when we talk about that topic.
Yeah.
And so I'll go ahead and say it, but I also have one that I think blends very well with today's episode. And it says, we shouldn't worry about the criticism of those we wouldn't take advice from.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that for 32 milliseconds.
Yeah. And that's 90% of the population. We care about what everybody thinks and why. So before you read that one, I just want to get this out there.
You're good.
As humans, what we need to think about, we spend our entire lives caring what people that don't know us have no idea who we are.
Yeah.
We care about what they think about us.
Yeah.
When statistically speaking, within the first month of your death, all everybody remembers is that you're dead.
Yeah.
So why do we care about that kind of crap?
Most everybody
just remembers like, oh yeah, that's the dude that died. They don't remember all the things that you brought to the world.
There's a half of a % that actually remember you.
Yeah. Typically your closest and most dear loved ones. But everybody else that knew you, they could have been friends with you.
Yep.
They're just going to remember like, oh yeah, man. Yeah, he just died. And that's it. That's where the conversation ends. They mourn you for about 2 days and then
game over.
And the people that you don't know don't mourn you at all. They're just like, oh, remember that dude? Yeah, the one that wrecked his Harley or whatever. Yeah, that's how they remember you. They don't remember you as the person that you were.
That's right.
So screw them.
Tell them to
very, very, very unnecessary. But
tell them to sit on that chair and spin.
Yeah,
or rotate.
Sit on your thumb and rotate.
I think this is I just feel like this kind of blends well with kind of the way this day is gone. It says, be so happy that when other people look at you, they become happy too.
Ooh, man, that's a touchy subject because most of the time when you're that happy, people hate you for it. Just going to say that.
That's fair. But you know what? I refuse to believe that that's what the vibe that we're giving off today.
I hope not.
I believe not. I believe that the vibe we're giving off today is joyous, and we just had a good time, and different from normal. We kind of, I wouldn't say we got thrown a curveball. We've been thrown curveballs many times, but the idea that we actually kind of had a plan, not a plan, but there was supposed to be another person here, and there was kind of a conversation started.
Yeah.
Yep, and then didn't have that, and so we came in here and did what we do. We started shooting bullets at the sky, and here we are.
I want to encourage everybody, man, if you don't know who we are, you don't know anything about us, you can reach out to us on our email. That's bswunbound80@gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
We're on Instagram. Instagram is...
it is _sticker_wisdom.
Yep. Facebook is Jason and...
It is John Jason BSW.
This is the first time I've ever announced the actual platforms. Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Spotify, RSS.com. We're everywhere. We're on TikTok, you name it. Reach out to us. Come follow us, man. For Bumper Sticker Wisdom, I'm Jason.
And I'm John. Thanks, guys.